Fine, thank you.
OK, no prizes for guessing where Emma will be taking us first. That man Trump still dominating coverage. Donald Trump, of course. Conversations about the US presidential battle and much more besides.
Indeed, and you do have to wonder when criticism of the Republican debate is coming from the likes of the man who played the Fonz in Happy Days, then clearly there's something a little wrong with US politics. Now, what Henry Winkler had to say last night was, let's get this straight. They're running for president, the leader of our country, and they are talking body parts above and below the belt. Now, this is, of course, in reaction to the words of Marco Rubio, who commented on Trump's hands, saying that they were very small, and we all know what that means, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Small gloves.
Ever since, indeed, ever since Donald Trump seems to be obsessed with declaring his nether regions beyond reproach.
Hang on, small hand, small penis, that's what he was saying, wasn't it? That's
You
what he
had
was
to
implying.
be.
Well, let's get it out in the open, so to speak.
Oh, dear. Anyway, Raw Story seemed to think that Donald Trump is protesting too much. They say science is against his claim that just because he has small hands doesn't mean that his man parts are of a similar size. According to them, scientists have conducted a new study that says monkeys with smaller sexual weaponry compensate with louder howls. And they've illustrated it with a stunning image there of a monkey and Mr. Trump.
Well, that's cruel choice of imagery, surely. I've got to say something to defend him.
Very apt. They say that really the phrase all mouth and no trousers is true because you can't have it all. Apparently it's an evolutionary thing in monkeys, and Raw Story is drawing a parallel between monkeys and Mr. Trump.
So
now,
if you make noise, it's to overcompensate for the fact that you're lacking something down below.
Exactly.
That's what this
Now,
is.
if you were hoping that the Republican rhetoric was going to get a bit more mature, then don't hold your breath. Time magazine says they've spoken to his wife, who claims to have told him to act more presidential. But they say in this article, from the start of Thursday night's debate, it was clear that she is not his principal advisor. Now, the New York Daily News is really sounding the alarm now. Code orange, they say, because it looks as though Donald Trump is simply unstoppable when it comes to getting that Republican presidential nomination. What they also ask is, why did Mitt Romney choose to do his hatchet job of a speech declaring Donald Trump a fraud and a con man if he wasn't planning to run himself? And what they say, they're parodying the old question, what did you do during the war, Daddy? Saying, Papa, what did you do to stop Donald Trump? Now, if you are baffled as to why people like Donald Trump, take a look at Vox. There's a very good article here, and it's backed up with science yet again. They say that basically it's not just Trump who's espousing these extremist views, that his followers are becoming more and more happy to actually say things that are incredibly extreme.
How much more extreme can they get? Tell us.
Well, what they talk about here is a poll of people who voted for Donald Trump in South Carolina, and they found that 20% of them said Lincoln should not have freed the slaves. Now, what the scientists say is it's all to do with voters who have a desire for order and a fear of outsiders.
Sorry, could you say that again, Emma?
They think Lincoln should not have freed the slaves.
That is... I'm speechless, completely speechless.
That doesn't happen often.
People are saying that, supporters of Trump.
Yeah.
A sizable percentage.
20%.
That is absolutely gobsmackingly shocking, isn't it? In this day and age. Carry on, please, because I am speechless.
Moving on to probably the world's most famous graffiti artist. Banksy, whose real identity has always been a closely guarded secret. Now, scientists now say they can prove who he is. They've used geolocation technology to carry out what they call geographical profiling. He's a man called Robin Gunningham, a rather well-off man in his 30s from Bristol in southwest England. This identity was actually revealed back in 2008 by the Mail on Sunday, but was never confirmed. But scientists at Queen Mary University say that they've done this research, which doesn't sound terribly scientific. It's basically looking at the addresses he's linked to and where he's carried out his most well-known works.
Bristol, basically.
Yes. In the past, it's been used to trace serial criminals. They say it could now be used to track down terrorists. But some feel it's a bit unfair of them to have revealed the identity of Banksy if he didn't wish that to happen. This tweet is typical. We've developed a new technology to help track down terrorists. Fantastic. Who have you managed to find? Banksy.
I mean, in the period when we're trying to unlock an iPhone to find out more about the San Bernardino killers, we've revealed the man who's street art is absolutely remarkable, fantastic and brilliant.
Sells for
starts
hundreds of
conversation,
thousands of euros.
Yeah. If you know Bristol, you'll know Banksy's work. It's great stuff, isn't it? Is that it?
No, it's not.
Tell us more. Tell us more.
Okay, very quickly. The Geordie accent is in the spotlight, courtesy of a US crime
The
series.
Geordie
called
accent,
Castle.
the accent of the city
This-
of Newcastle in
Newcastle
England.
in northern England. It is probably one of the hardest to understand and one of the most tricky to emulate.
Why
Let's
aye,
look-
buddy lad?
Oh, very good. Let's take a look at just how bad it was in the episode of Castle that aired this week.
Goes to the coin, I'm out of fell. Been up snacking off gun on the high. I was bubbling like a bear and plunging into the net if we're going yum to me scratcher.
Good. Okay. Very nice to meet you.
Did Eddie owe you money? Is that why you killed him?
Get away, man. They even shoot your gob off. They even dunced the gadget. It was bun mortal in the boozer when Eddie went down like.
So there you go. It is pretty bad. Admittedly, the joke in the programme is that he's incomprehensible. So that's
He is
been done
incomprehensible, isn't he?
deliberately.
Completely.
But taking a look at Chronicle Live, which is Newcastle's local newspaper, their website, they ask, is this the worst Geordie accent ever? And it would seem that most people think that it is. Charlie Brooker, who's well known for commenting on television programmes, says this guy has invented a dialect that sounds like Scottish, Irish, Russian and Klingon combined, but not Geordie. The only person, it seems, who thinks that the actor did a good job is the man who writes the series, Nick Hurwitz. He tweeted, I got to do a bunch of the Geordie research and I've got to say, Greg Bryan crushed it. Greg then thanked him and said, I'll give a prize to whoever understood what I said. There were then a slew of replies saying, don't be ridiculous, this is absolutely terrible. Nick Hurwitz then was forced to defend himself and said, our actor did a great job considering the time restraints. Apologies if it didn't live up to your expectations.
They've never been to Newcastle, have they? Simple as that.
Well, he says he did, but who were they talking to? Inexplicable.
My sister was married to a Geordie. I used to imitate his accent all the time when I was younger, and believe me, that sounded nothing like a Geordie accent, did it at all, you know?
Not at all.
Geordie accent.
OK, Emma, thank you very much, Hinny. Well, that's the best I can do at this time of night.
That was terrible.
Delana with the business, thank you too, sir. Great to see you. And thank you for watching too. Stay with us, more news to come.